Livingston County 911, what's the address or location of your emergency?
There's a car driving the wrong way.
The guy's either intoxicated or he's fallen asleep. He's gone off the road.
You see right here, driver's license.
I won't get this thing, bro.
Relax. Don't do something stupid that you're gonna regret. Stop. Stop resisting.
Stop. Get it. I'm telling you, if you do that, that's not gonna be good.
Stop.
It's not gonna be good for you. I'm telling you.
Stop.
I run you on budget, bro. If you hit me, it's gonna be resident for you. I'll call Governor Woodard right now.
Tell Joe who you got. You know, call Joe. I'm not sure he's up or not. If he's not up, wake him up. Tell Joe who you have. Tell Joe who you have. Handcuff. Okay?
Believe me, the governor knows about this right now.
They know about this?
Yeah, and everything is being recorded. No, Gretchen called us, bud.
She called you?
Yeah, so you better start complying before Gretch finds out, bud. Even worse, because guess what?
You know what? Big Gretch is the homie.
This defendant's actions, from his conduct during the charged crimes through each of the 3 bond violations, show that he believes that as a person who writes our laws, that he is above our laws.
Welcome back to Legal Dissent, where we evaluate your constitutional rights before they're taken away. As always, if you enjoy our content, please do consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and interacting with us in the comments below. It really does help a lot in the YouTube algorithm. On January 1st, 2017, Jewell Jones became the youngest member elected to the Michigan House of Representatives. Calling himself the Hope Dealer, Jones promised to bring change and accountability to his district. Jewell was a well-respected young man, active in his church, with his family, part of the National Guard, an auxiliary police officer, and a great student. By all accounts, he was a young person interested in helping others and making his community a better place. Unfortunately, like many with promising futures and access to power, he developed what appears to be a belief that he is above the law and entitled to preferential treatment because of his position in state government, and it spiraled out of control into some extremely bizarre events. On April 6, 2021, Jones and a female passenger were driving down the highway erratically. Other drivers began calling 911 to report the dangerous driving, and a few passengers even took video with their smartphones. Allegedly, he had been driving for around 50 miles before emergency services caught up to him after the vehicle was crashed into a ditch on the side of the road. Jack Terpstra, a EMS worker who was on site, testified that Jones was nervous upon arrival to the scene, that he saw a pistol in plain view in the vehicle, and that Jones was not allowed to enter the ambulance because of his aggressive behavior, which was distracting to patient care. More concerning was that the female passenger was unconscious and undressed from the waist down. Further, Jones also had his pants undone. Jones demanded to accompany his female passenger in the ambulance, and that's when an officer confronted Jones.
Hey, come talk to me. Back up. Come on. Come talk to me for a second. Hey. What's going on, partner?
Her dad's fucking UAW all the way.
Okay.
I'm riding with her.
If they say no, you're not going.
Can't you take me with her?
I can't take you with her.
I mean, it's because medical privilege. Okay.
Hold on. Relax. Hold on. Right? Relax.
So pull me over. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy, bro.
Don't do something stupid.
I want you to just follow me all the way to the hospital. I want to follow them. You follow
We're
me.
gonna find out what's going on. Relax. Right? You see right here, driver's license.
I won't get this thing, bro.
Relax. Don't do something stupid that you're gonna regret.
I'm gonna mess with my vehicle. I'm sitting down.
No. I'm asking for your ID one more time and your driver's license. You understand me?
After refusing to identify himself to the officer, the encounter escalated very quickly.
He's handed you.
What's your name, brother?
Trooper Gilmer.
Trooper Gilmer?
Yes, sir. Don't be dumb. Well, that would be a big mistake for you right now.
It would. Get my keys. Okay? You gonna hold them for me?
You got anybody?
You gonna hold them for me?
No, I want your ID and your driver's license.
Why is he behind you?
Because that's my partner.
What's your partner?
Yeah.
Alright, Trooper Gilmer, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Can I talk to you in your ear?
You're talking to me, okay?
In your ear. In your ear. He's younger. I just want to touch you in your ear because you're older.
I'm not gonna
Listen, I don't have anybody close to me. You know this.
I know you don't. He's close to me though, for sure.
He's right behind you. Because
I already know.
you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing right now. That's the problem.
You touching me?
I'm keeping you back from me.
I'm not gonna get close to you. I'm asking you if I can get close, if I can touch
No,
you.
I already told you that. I already asked for your driver's license and your ID.
Alright, so take your hand off me. I'll give you my shot. Take your hand off me. I got you. You gotta make sure they don't pull off before I pull off, right?
You're not going anywhere right now.
You're gonna take me with them though, right?
Listen to me. We're gonna do this one step at a time. All right?
Okay. Can I get my phone first?
No. Right now, I want your ID and your driver's license. Okay?
I can't do that. The only reason.
Don't tense up.
I'm tensing up.
Don't tense up.
You're not gonna be able to get it. You're not gonna be.
Stop resisting. Stop.
Stop resisting. You're not gonna be able to get it. But I'm telling you, if you do that, that's not gonna be good.
Stop.
It's not gonna be good for you. I'm telling you.
Stop.
No, I run y'all budget, bro. I'm chilling. I just want to talk to y'all. I won't move. I won't go nowhere. I just want to talk to you.
We got this one.
Listen up, dude. But I swear to God, just trust me.
You're gonna start getting striked. Okay?
If you strike me, it's gonna be right there.
You're gonna start getting struck.
I swear to God.
Give me your left arm.
I wouldn't lie to you. If you hit me, it's gonna be right there for you. I'll call Governor with me right now. When I call Gretchen, I need your IDs and badge numbers and everything. I told you already. I will sit here and give y'all my shit. If y'all fucking let me shut up, that's all I said. I work with y'all. I don't give a fuck. I work with the police. You're not stronger than me, bro. You're not stronger than me, bro. I'll tell you that much right now. If you just give me just let me shut up.
Stand right there.
I just can't.
You stand right there.
Bro, I've been abused by the police so much before I became a
Cooperate
state
with
rep.
us. Give us your left arm. We're being very lenient on you.
Y'all want me to cooperate, but y'all
Give
want to
us your
cooperate me?
left arm.
All right, cool. You know what? Hey, I'll let it go. Cool, take it. I won't, but if you abuse me when you take my arm, I'm gonna get upset. I'm gonna tell Gretchen that y'all was f***ing up. I'm telling Jeffrey, y'all f***ing up, and I'm gonna get y'all on death duty, bro. I'm telling you. I'm not gonna touch this.
So I can twist his arm from under him.
You have to care shit. I'm not gonna move.
He's got the right.
I'm not going to move, bro.
DPD? I gotta look at his ID.
In the Michigan Penal Code, Section 81D, subsection 1, it provides that an individual who obstructs a person, police officer, who the individual reasonably knows is performing his or her duties is guilty of a felony. This statute has 3 elements that must be met. First, the defendant obstructed the police officer. Second, the defendant reasonably knew that the person was an officer performing his or her duties. And finally, did the officer act lawfully? It's pretty obvious that the first 2 elements in this situation are met. The question then becomes, is it objectively reasonable for an officer in this position to think that Jones' refusal to identify was a violation of Michigan law? If the answer is yes, then the officer acted lawfully. If the answer is no, then the arrest is invalid and the case would be thrown out. This question was mirrored in a recent appellate case of Barrera versus City of Mount Pleasant, Michigan, where Barrera refused to identify himself to an officer and was charged with obstruction. It is well established that you are not required to identify to an officer unless they have reasonable articulable suspicion that you are involved in criminal activity. Hibble and Terry both allow officers to detain a person to investigate a crime when they have reasonable suspicion that the person may be involved in criminal activity, and that during a Terry stop, officers are able to request a detained person to identify themselves so long as the request is reasonably related in scope to the circumstances that justify the stop. On a national level, the Supreme Court has not interpreted the Fourth Amendment to protect you if you refuse this request once you have been legally detained, and it allows states to criminalize the failure to comply, which Michigan has done via their obstruction statute. The distinguishing factor here is that Jones was not stopped while driving. He had already stopped, albeit it seems involuntarily, by the vehicle, being in a ditch on the side of the highway. However, that still does not give the officers firsthand knowledge that Jones was in fact driving. Theoretically, you could argue he was just an innocent bystander who was walking down the road and happened to be there. That being said, with the multiple calls into 911 describing his vehicle, him as the driver, and his vanity license plate which read elected, in addition to the odor of alcohol the paramedics and officers claimed that they could smell on his breath, plus the presence of the half-naked unconscious female in the ambulance and the vehicle in the ditch, there's enough evidence to give the officer reasonable articulable suspicion that Jones was indeed involved in criminal activity. And most courts would, and did in this case, affirm that the officer was justified in asking for his identification. Feel free to discuss in the comments below, but my opinion is that based on the current legal precedent, this would stand as a legal arrest in courts across the country.
Hey, yo. Hey, baby, where you at? The one I trust, where you at? The one I trust, where you at?
Right here, man.
Come here. Let me talk to you real quick.
I can hear you where you're at.
I want to talk to you before you go to where you get.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here.
I gotta whisper something to you, baby.
You're not whispering nothing to me, man.
You don't? You don't want to whisper to you?
Nope.
I'm gonna tell you. Tell Joe who you got. You're gonna call Joe. I'm not sure he's up or not. If he's not up, wake him up. Tell Joe who you have. Tell Joe who you have. Handcuff. Okay? Yeah. Don't know you have me handcuffed. Let him know that I would like to go home. After that, let me go home. But talk to him first. Wake his ass up. If you want me to call him, guess what? Put like 10 troopers around me. Give me my phone. I'll call him myself. I'll call him and tell him I would like to go home. That's the only place I was going after this.
Jones was wanting to whisper to the officer to have him call Joe Gasper, the director of the Michigan State Police, and let him know who they had handcuffed. This name dropping continued even during the booking process when Jones refused to take his mugshot without his mask on.
Show me in y'all stuff where it says I have to wear a mask in my pictures. I know it's not in there. So I just want to hear it.
You're right, because you can't wear a mask in the pictures.
So I want to see it.
So, I'm not showing you anything. We're beyond this point.
Huh?
Okay? We're beyond this point.
We're not.
Yeah, because now you're not complying with orders. So now you're changing the demeanor of this place, right?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm just asking. Can you show me where it says
I said no. I'm not showing you
this.
It's
the governor literally says we have to wear masks.
Believe me, the governor knows about this right now.
They know about this?
Yeah, and everything is being recorded.
You called Gretchen.
No, Gretchen called us, bud.
She called you?
Yeah, so you better start complying before Gretch finds out, bud. Even worse, because guess what?
You know what? Big Gretch is the homie.
Okay.
If she finds out about this, she might be a little upset about the treatment. So I'm finding out because she's very serious
Oh,
about the
I don't
pandemic.
think she has to worry about that.
She's very serious about the pandemic. So I'm just wondering, can I wear the mask?
You cannot wear the mask while you're getting your picture taken because I can't take a picture. I'm not showing you anything. Listen, man. This is the last time I'm asking you. The next time I'm telling you, and after that,
you all will have to hold me over there if
I'm not
you
holding
can't
you
find in the regulations.
See, I can't wait to show this to the governor.
Show
you want to
show it to her. If you can't find it where it's codified, where it says I have to wear a mask, I'm not going to stand over there.
Listen,
I'll stand over there and let you all hold my arms, but I won't stand over there by myself. So hey, so you keep getting closer. I just want to let you know. You don't have to get closer. Just let me know you all will hold my arms, and I'll stand over there and let you all hold my arms.
You're a grown man.
Huh?
You're a grown man. You
I'm
can
very
stand
grown.
This goes on for quite a while before Jones is taken back to his cell. Eventually, he does submit to having his picture taken for processing, and according to the blood alcohol test, Jones registered at a 0.19, which is over twice the legal limit in Michigan. Jones was eventually released on bond after being charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer, operating a vehicle while intoxicated, reckless driving, and possessing a weapon while under the influence of alcohol. There was a legally registered handgun in the car at the time of the incident. However, this was just the beginning of Jones' legal spiral. He violated bond 3 times. The last time was for drinking alcohol and for tampering with his ankle monitor that detected alcohol in his system. Due to these violations, his bond was revoked and he was sent to jail. This time, however, once in jail, law enforcement found something that led to the most bizarre charge in this case.
Apparently, he was changing from his nice suit into his jail clothes. That's when deputies heard a bit of a clanking, and what they found was a handcuff key taped to the bottom of his foot.
You know, this guy just seems to think that he can continue to thumb his nose at the judicial system. And, you know, frankly, we don't play like that in Livingston County.
People don't do that. That's something you see in a movie. That can't be real. Hopefully at the time of trial, we will get to the bottom of that, because that is bizarre, I must admit.
I would just like to go off script a little bit and say, you know what, this guy is an embarrassment to elected officials, frankly. I mean, it's all these are allegations. There's no question he's not been convicted of anything, but you know, come on.
Jones agreed to do an interview to discuss his legal woes and to provide some defenses to his alleged conduct.
Well, I do want to clarify a few things. I know there's been a lot of embellished facts throughout this case and this trial. So I wasn't driving when all of this happened. It almost seems like when I was approached, the trooper wanted me to be a criminal or something like that, but he didn't have any evidence for anything. And so maybe he wanted me to be impolite. And I think that.
But you were impolite.
Well, I think that, you know, I was from my perspective, I was kind of thinking that I was being polite, but I was also, because of my experience in law enforcement, because of my experience of the law, I'm aware of different things that you need to do and different things you don't need to do. So of course, like I said earlier, I may have had some poor judgment, but at the same time, I felt that I was well within the law.
So that happens, and you know, maybe you now looking back, hindsight 2020, you could see where maybe you did some things wrong. But you go on to do more bizarre things that are uncharacteristic of the person that you told me you were growing up, how you were raised. And the handcuff key. I just, why did you tape a handcuff key on your foot?
So I'm not sure about all of that. I did see, once I got out of jail, these interviews and what the sheriff said that happened, but you know, when I first got processed in, they didn't find the cuff key, and then the cuff key appeared later on.
So you're saying you didn't tape a handcuff key to your foot?
Well, I'm hoping that a lot of the facts come out during the case.
The facts never did come out in the case, as Jones went on to plead guilty to 4 misdemeanors and 2 felony charges, including resisting and obstructing, operating while intoxicated, possession of a firearm while under the influence of alcohol, reckless driving, and escape of lawful custody. In the end, he served 61 days in jail, will be on probation for 2 years, and will have to complete 100 hours of community service. The prosecution pushed for jail time, noting his 3 bond violations and his unrepentant social media posts. For example, he began to market t-shirts on his Instagram that said, "Big Gretch is the homie." One man who witnessed the legislator driving recklessly confronted Jones, stating, "You were out of control driving 75 miles an hour on the shoulder. If there were a pedestrian walking with a gas can or a parked car, you would have taken them out, sir." Fortunately, everyone was okay. But ultimately, as usual, the ones who really lost are the people who counted on a politician to represent their best interests.
Do you have any idea how many sessions and votes you've missed?
I heard I believe one of the individuals on one of the channels did a tally of those different things. And so while I might have been away, however, the team was still hard at work, so I may have missed some votes.
Almost 90.
90 votes. And those that we missed, though, I think one of the most important things out there that you can do as a state representative is constituency services. And so I think that the team held that down because, you know, we've had unemployment issues, other issues going on with the state, different things like that. So while I believe the votes is important,
your constituents didn't have any representation for almost 90 votes. What do you say to that?
I apologize to my constituents for not being there, not being present. Though I couldn't sit there in that seat and actually cast my personal vote for my constituents. I don't think that there was I don't think we can entirely throw out everything because we're still working for them.
Jones will not have to resign as a state representative, and was even offered his committee seats back after sentencing was finalized. His reply was, no. He now focuses on his daily radio show, which seems to be more important to him than being an advocate for his constituents. As long as he successfully completes his probation requirements, he will most likely be eligible for the felonies to be wiped completely from his record. We all make mistakes, we all mess up, and we all deserve second chances. That second chance should be predicated upon repentance and a willingness to become a better human being. What do you think? Did the officer have reasonable articulable suspicion, or was this an unlawful arrest? Do you believe Jones deserves another chance, and was the sentencing fair? Let us know in the comments below. And remember that no matter who you are, you have value and you have rights. Do not be afraid to use them, and we'll see you next time right here on Legal Dissent.